besties, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, I'm Sophia and I love reading romance books. Now, I am late to my August and September reading wrap up. It is currently the 3rd of October, but I have been busy getting sunburnt, but we're not going to talk about it. Before we get into my wrap up, I do just want to quickly say that I have been slumping quite badly for the past 2 months, so I have not read many books, but I've read still like a good chunk to warrant a video, okay? But with that being said, I don't want this to like discourage you in any way, because if you read less books than me, more books than me, as long as you enjoy them, that is amazing. Like, that's all that matters. Now, without further ado, and in no particular order, let's get into the wrap up. So the first book I have today is one that kind of blew up on Bookstagram, honestly, and that is Blindside by Candy Steiner. This is a college football, quiet girl, athlete boy, footballer boy, you know what I mean. I did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 stars. In hindsight, I'd probably give it 3.75. I did enjoy Blindside, but I felt the writing is actually what put me off the most. I did like the story, but Candy's writing, especially in Clay's perspective, it was quite jarring because, you know, this is this footballer who is supposed to have dedicated his life to football, but in the actual like inner monologue he was using metaphors about like flowers and nothing else is coming to mind, but that sort of thing. Like, the metaphors and the actual writing style didn't really match his character, which I found a little bit annoying, a little bit jarring, but otherwise I did really enjoy this book, and I know a lot of my friends and a lot of other people have really enjoyed Blindside. I also had a little bit of a like love-hate relationship with Gianna because I can relate to her a lot, but at the same time there was a lot of kind of, I want to say pick me moments, but I feel like that's not the right way to describe them. You know, I liked her, but I didn't love her. I liked this book, but I didn't love it. There was not really any sort of big spark for me, but it was still like a solid read. The story was entertaining. Okay, next up is a book I feel I have a lot of opinions about, and that is Hush Hush by Lucia Franco. Now, if you've seen my Instagram review for this book, it wasn't great. I gave this book 3.5 stars, I think, but basically it's a escort romance. She gets with her best friend's dad behind her best friend's back, so it's very forbidden in that aspect. And while I did enjoy some aspects of this book, like I love Aubrey, she's the main female main character, and her best friend Natalie, I literally loved their dynamic. I loved every scene that they were together in. But the male main character, James, I know a lot of people absolutely adore him, but he was just a piece of shit. I'm so sorry, but I despise that man. Like, how many times does Aubrey have to tell him no before he gets to the point? And that's the thing, he doesn't get the point. He just keeps upping his price. They end up at like $10 million for a year-long arrangement, and it's just, babe, like, okay, yes, we'd all do things for money, but it just really grated on my nerves, okay? Oh, and the spice also got quite repetitive. Like, I ended up just skimming and skipping the spicy scenes, to be honest, because it just got boring. Like, this book is basically just an excuse to write smut, and you know, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. It's just the attempt of plot in this grated on my nerves. I think that's the issue. So yeah, maybe this is just me learning that I need like a bit more of a detailed plot to actually enjoy my spies, but I don't know. I need some like character connection. I need some character development, some character depth to actually enjoy the story and the spice. But anyway, yeah, I think that sort of sums up all my thoughts. Otherwise, you know, I enjoyed Grammy and her cats. Natalie was fun. Okie dokie. Next up we have Electric Idol by Katie Robert. This was a buddy read I did with Maine. Hello. I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember much about this book, but this is what I mean when I say I want plot with my spice, okay? This book wasn't as spicy as Neon Gods, and I don't think it'll be as spicy as Wicked Beauty, but there was a plot to keep me entertained in the interim of smart. Is that so hard to ask for? Anyway, yeah, this is a retelling about Psyche and Eros, and basically Eros is hired to assassinate Psyche, and they're like, oh no, blah blah blah, and they end up in a marriage inconvenience to kind of work around the assassination. To be honest, this was a fantastic like filler read almost. It sort of just kept me entertained without having to use much brain power, which sometimes we need. But yeah, honestly, all around this book was a solid read. You know, I enjoyed seeing the characters again. I would have liked to see maybe more of Hades and Persephone, but you know, that's okay, they're off doing their own thing. But otherwise, yeah, the smart was good, the plot was good, the characters chill. I also really enjoyed that there's mid-size representation in this book in Psyche, which is amazing. More books need to have that. If I didn't already say, I gave Electric Idol 4 stars. Okay, next up we have maybe my favorite or maybe my second favorite. I can't choose, so I'm not going to. But this book I have a lot of feelings about in the opposite way that I had a lot of feelings about Hush Hush, and that is Underlocked by Marianne Zapata. This is one of the 2 5-star reads that I read in the past 2 months, and oh my god, it was good. This is a motorcycle club workplace romance. Dex is like the head tattoo artist, he owns the shop, and Iris is in need of a job, so she goes and works as the receptionist for him. Underlocked was also a lot less slow burn than the other Marianne Zapata books I read, which is literally only From Luke Off with Love. But yeah, it was a lot less slow burn at there. I think they had their first kiss at like 300 pages in, which is better than like 500 pages in. And there was also quite a few spicy scenes, which, you know, was amazing because after all the tension, all the build up of Iris and Dex, oh my god, was it worth it? And Underlocked is also a phenomenal Grumpy Sunshine read. Actually, Iris isn't particularly sunshiny, but Dex, oh my god, he's a grump. I spent the first 100-200 pages of this book absolutely despising Dex because he curses Iris out and you basically just hate his guts. But trust me, believe me when I tell you I loved him by the end. Oh my god, the redemption. But yeah, this was maybe my favorite book. Oh my god, that's a big statement, especially when you say what's next. Am I gonna say it? I think I'm gonna say it. This is my favorite book. I can't commit to that, never mind. When you see this book's competition coming up, I think you'll understand why I can't commit to this being my favorite. But it was so good. It's definitely my favorite MZ book, and honestly kind of want to reread it. Okay, next up we have not Underlocked's competition. That's such a mean way to put it. I still gave this book 4.5 stars, and that is Indigo Ridge by Debney Perry. This is my most recent read, and the reason I didn't give it 5 stars, like everything about it felt like, no, everything about it was like a 5-star read to me, but I didn't get that 5-star feeling. You know that feeling when you just like absolutely adore the book, love the book, know you're gonna give it 5 stars from the get-go. That didn't give this to me, but I still loved it. The story, the characters, amazing. Winslow is a big city cop that's moved recently to Quincy. And Griffin is like the local rancher that like everyone around town knows, and they have a one-night stand the first night that Winslow was there, and things get a little bit orkies. Ew. Things get a bit awkward as Winslow and Griffin keep like running into each other and stuff like that, and then they steadily sort of resume a friends with benefits relationship, which evolves into a relationship. You know, they develop some feelings, and it's so good. Who is using a drill? But yeah, I love this book. I'm currently reading Juniper Hill, which is Knox and Memphis's book. You meet Memphis at the very end, and Knox is Griffin's younger brother who is a chef in the Eden Hotel. It's actually really good. I didn't think I'd be into it because I wouldn't think that's not the point of this video, but I'm gonna keep talking anyway. I didn't think I would be into Juniper Hill because Memphis is a single mum and Knox is just like, I didn't think I'd be into a chef type, but he's kind of fine, so. Anyway, Indigo Ridge is really good and it's a fantastic start to the series. I love it so far. And next up we have Underlocked's competition for top spot in my August and September reading wrap up. I'm like nervous right now. Why am I nervous right now? This is the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. Yes, I finally read it, and yes, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Let me just say, Lana motherfucking Myers. That's it. That's all I have to say. This goddamn book took me on a roller coaster and a half. Actually, to be honest, it kind of put me in a depressive episode in the middle. But that's okay, you know, it just means the emotions were flowing. You know, St. Abbey is good at capturing the emotions. But you know, it healed my heart by the end. I really appreciated Lana's revenge mission. I loved the like full circle moment. Oh my god, and when Logan at the end, when he killed, no, that's a spoiler, oh my god. Logan at the end when he met, wait, that's probably a spoiler too. Logan at the end when he did something with the person that started it all. I will just say that I absolutely loved Logan and Lana and the forbiddenness, and oh my god, when Logan found out, my heart was actually like at my feet. no joke. It fell out of my chest and slimed around on my toes. That's such a disgusting imagery. But I think it fits, right? I'm honestly just talking shit at this point, but if you have not read this book yet and if you think you can tolerate it, because there's a lot of trigger warnings, please check trigger warnings before you read this. But yeah, if you think you can tolerate it, please read it. It is so good, and the writing is also so easy to read. I didn't crack the spine. Look at that, smooth. I'm proud of myself for that. I was actually reading, actually it's pretty floppy, but I was actually reading like this at some point. Anyway, I feel like I'm actually losing my mind a little bit right now, but I really did enjoy the Mindfuck series. 5 stars. Was it better than Underlocked? Not sure. I feel like they're in 2 different leagues and I just really shouldn't compare them, but yeah, I really loved the Mindfuck series. Lana was amazing. Actually, all of the characters were amazing. Like I actually loved reading about Jake like fooling the world, and yeah, it was really good to uncover the mystery, because SD Abby definitely feeds you little tidbits so that you think you're figuring it out, but there's always more depth, which I really loved experiencing. And yeah, if you have not read this yet, for the like 3rd time, read it. Okay, and with that brings us to the end of my 6-book wrap up. Yes, I only read 6, but you know, I'm proud of it because I was stressed and experiencing burnout and was like depressed for a couple of weeks. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it's not too short because I feel like I kind of just spoke my thoughts really quick. Anyway, now that I feel like I have probably talked enough, I'm going to depart and I'm going to keep reading Juniper Hill outside in the sun and hopefully not get too much more burnt. It doesn't look particularly red on camera, but I am red and it hurts. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!